Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। So namaste once again everyone.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam. So we are discussing this 15th shloka of the 3rd chapter. So here Krishna is expanding on the cycles which he talked about a couple of slokas ago. The cosmic cycles, big cycles, cycles within cycles, cycles within cycles. That is how the entire cosmos is made up of. So he is now pointing out one more cycle, cause-effect relationship. So he says, may you understand that karma here means ritual or a prayer, etc., to be born of the Veda. Brahma means Veda. Brahma Udbhavam. Karma Brahma Udbhavam. Karma is born of Veda. And Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Veda is born of the imperishable Ishvara. Therefore, the all-pervasive Brahma abides always in Yajna. That means what? It is always employed in Yajna. Here Yajna is not Punyam. Here Yajna means a ritual. So, again, in this verse, Krishna is highlighting the importance of Karma Yoga in maintaining the harmony of the creation. And this harmonious lifestyle is taught by what? Vedas. So Krishna says, Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. Karma is born of Vedas. Now the next question will be, from where did the Vedas or Brahma come? He said, Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Samudbhavam means born of, well born of, created by. Samyak Udbhavam. So Vedas are not the creation of human intellect. Vedas have come out of Aksharam. Aksharam here, of course, as I said, means imperishable, literally, that which cannot be destroyed. But here in this context, it means Bhagavan or Ishvara, Akshara. Therefore, Veda is not the creation of human intellect. Veda has been given to the humanity by the Lord, and it is called Apaurusheyam. Apaurusheyam means what? Not a product of Purusha or human being. And therefore he says Karma Brahmodbhavam and Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. The Vedas are the source for karma or karma yoga, and Ishvara is the author of the Vedas. And because Ishvara is the author of the Vedas, and because karma yoga has come born of Vedas, so Ishvara becomes the author of karma yoga also automatically. And the purpose of Ishvara for having taught karma yoga through the Veda is for sustaining the harmony in this creation, in his creation rather, because creation is also by Ishvara only. And therefore Krishna says, Tasmat, therefore, Sarvagatam Brahma. The Brahma, the Vedic teaching is all over. It is Sarvagatam, all pervading. Wherever Vedic Sampradaya is there the Vedic teaching is prevalent. And the Vedic teaching is all pervading in the society. And especially it is prevalent where he says, Nityam Yagnye Pratishtitam. Again, let me remind you, in the previous sloka, the word yajna was interpreted as what? Apurvam, Adrishtam or Punyam. Here the word yajna is interpreted as rituals ordained by the Vedas. Therefore, wherever yajna is going on, wherever there is sacrifice, wherever there is sharing, wherever there is dhanam, the Vedic teaching is predominantly present there. Yajne Pratishtitam. Pratishtitam means abides in. Therefore, the all-pervasive Brahma, that is the Vedas, abides always in Yajna, means it is always employed in Yajna. Now, typically, people ask, what happens if you don't perform such a karma? We want to examine all the angles. So, Krishna comes out with his next sloka, 16th one. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriya ramah Mogham partha sajivati. So he says, Hey Partha, yaha iham evam pravartitam chakram na anuvartayati. Saha indriya aramaha aghayuhu mogham jivati. This is the Anvaya. Hey Partha, O Partha, O Arjuna, Yaha, one who, Iha, in this life, Evam, in this manner, Pravartitam, already set in motion, Chakram, the cosmic wheel, Na Anuvartayati, does not follow. Saha, that person, Indriya Aramaha, the one who is given to sensory pleasures, Aghayuhu, the one who lives in papam, a sinful life, Mogham, wastefully jivati, lives. So a person who does not live here in this life according to the cosmic wheel, according to the cosmic cycles, in harmony with the cosmic cycle which is already set in motion by the Lord in this manner, means in the manner described in the previous slokas, that person who is given to sensory pleasures and who lives in papam lives wastefully, he lives in vain. His whole life is wasting. Precious life. Well, if you perform the yajna, that is, do the karmas with a karma yoga attitude, the devatas, who are the devatas? We have already seen they are all the individual cosmic powers. They are all pleased. And you work in harmony according to the order, and which is here, he referred it to as chakra, the cosmic wheel. And when that happens, there is a mutual benefit here that is inherent in the order that is already set in motion. We must understand one basic aspect of the entire universe. The entire whole universe, the whole planetary system, etc., operates by mutual attraction. Every planet, the sun, the moon, the earth, move in their respective orbits because of what? Because of the force of attraction that keeps the whole system going. In fact, it is not attraction between two individual entities. The whole system is kept in balance by various different combinations of attractions. It's a very fine balance is maintained. Whatever you may call, we call the magnetic effect or whatever, basically it is attraction. If that there is a slight change in that magnetic field or attraction, the whole system will collapse. Even when we look into any nucleus, we will find that the motion of the particles operate in the same way within the nucleus. Similarly, certain proteins attract other proteins. Structurally, they are all attracted to each other. Certain bugs, they attack only certain things, all because of the protein structures. People who are, into all this, organic chemistry or even, biology and all that, they actually analyze all these things. So in this way, the entire cosmos is nothing but a force of attraction operating in a most intelligent manner for sustaining the entire cosmic cycle. And living beings who are not mere physical entities but are conscious beings, mutually related to the devatas. We are all mutually related to the devatas. Again, devatas, we must not immediately, bring in mind some image and all. The devatas, we must always remember individual cosmic powers. We interact with these cosmic powers continuously. That we are able to walk on the earth is because of the gravitational force. That we are even able to stand up is because of that force. Since this is how the order is set up, you recognize them, acknowledge them. It's very important. Therefore, a human being has to contribute positively to keep the cosmic wheel in a balanced rotation to maintain the harmony in the creation. But the tragedy is not all human beings understand this. Not everybody appreciates this and abides in this. And Krishna talks about such human beings in this sloka. Therefore, he says, Evam pravartitam chakram. This universal cycle which has been set in motion and maintained in this manner, the cosmic wheel maintained in this manner by giving and taking proportionately, which Swamiji says, the chakra which is spoken of here is much more than the cosmic wheel. It not only includes the physical world, but it includes everything. This chakra, this order is set up as it is by Ishvara, the efficient and material cause of it all. So he says, Yahana anuvartayati, the one who does not follow this cosmic principle, who does not contribute to the smooth rotation of this cosmic wheel, the one who amasses wealth only for his own selfish interest, a person, immature person, a selfish person who does not believe in the principle of giving and sharing. Who is he? Saha Indriya Aramaha Aghayuhu. Aghayuhu is a person whose life is nothing but agha only. Agha we have already seen earlier in one of the slokas, means papam, or roughly translated in English, sin. And in this word, such a person is also called Indriya Aramaha, means one who lives only at the level of sense organs, Indriyas. And therefore, he does not perceive anything beyond his eyes, nose, and ears. Such people are so foolish, they don't even think about how they got these functions of seeing, smelling, hearing, etc. They use it 24/7, but they don't even for a moment reflect, how did I get all these things? Their philosophy is, eyes are there, so let me feast. Let me see everything that is there in this world. All good and bad things. In fact, more bad things than good things. Such people are given to sensory pleasures alone. And Krishna says, those who live in this way, these vain people who do not follow the chakra, the wheel that is the order, live wastefully. Everything that is given to these people in terms of a human birth, all the faculties, a free will, everything lays waste. Such people waste their lives and live without any purpose, drifting along without anchor and roots. They are born, they grow up physically, and then one fine day they die. The depth and understanding that a human being is supposed to have is not there for a Indriya Ramaha or Indriya Ramaha. Therefore, what they do, they sahamogam jivati, such persons or such people, they live in vain. Because they are neither useful to themselves nor useful to the society. They are not useful to himself because being a sensualist, given to sensory pleasures only, they are not going to accomplish anything greater. Because eating, drinking, and procreating cannot be considered a great pleasure, because or even a great achievement, because even animals do that successfully, isn't it? They also eat, drink, and procreate. What's the difference between you and the animal? Swami Vivekananda says somewhere, living a healthy life is not a great accomplishment. Even a tortoise lives for 350 years. A coconut tree lives longer. Therefore, long life or having a large family, 4 sons, 4 daughters, 24 grandchildren, 72 great-grandchildren, all this is not great accomplishment at all, because even pigs have bigger families. So if sensory pleasures is a great accomplishment, animals also are there, they also do that. Therefore, the real accomplishment is in the field of karma and moksha, for which purpose alone we have got a human birth. Since this person who is a sensualist, he doesn't accomplish anything, his human life is a waste. And not only his life is useless for himself, he is useless to the society also, because he does not contribute anything to the society. No one misses him when he leaves the world. In fact, there are many animals which are better than such a person, and which are very useful while living, and they are useful even after their death also. For example, an elephant. While alive also, it is very useful. After death also, many parts of its body are used. There are animals like deer and all, useful for their skin. Then the teeth of some animals, hair. Elephant hair is very useful. Rhino horn is very useful. After death, they can remove the horn and do something with that. But this human being, while living also useless, after death also utterly useless. Nothing of the human being you can use after death. So what is the use of such a life? Life is meaningful only when I have lived a life of caring, sharing, and in the process, I have accomplished dharma and ultimately moksha also. And therefore, Krishna says all other people, they live in vain. Now, people may say, Krishna is coming down heavily on such people, isn't it? He's being very unfair. Therefore, we must understand, whenever there is this kind of criticism in the Gita, it is not meant for the sake of criticizing such people. The purpose is only to direct your attention to what is to be done. You are to push this wheel, this chakra, knowing that you are a cog in it. Someone who is very important in maintaining the order, do what you have to do, because only in the human birth we can do all this, we can perform karma. So by doing so, by our contribution, the wheel keeps going smoothly, rotating smoothly. To think that by not doing what you have to do, the order will not be disturbed is actually a improper thinking. The order required the contribution of every individual, and this a karma yogi understands. In fact, in this context, Pujya Swamiji narrates the story of a king who told everybody, who put one big pot outside the palace and told everybody, you must, pour one glass of milk, everybody in the city, one glass of milk in the container for poor feeding, for giving it to poor people. I all know the story. Everybody thought that if I put one glass of water, who is going to know? After so much milk will be there. Everybody thought like that. Ultimately, the whole container was only with water. There was no milk at all. Therefore, to think that if I don't do my duty, it doesn't matter. There are so many other people doing it. It's not proper thinking. Every individual has to contribute, and karma yoga is the route through which we contribute. And therefore, Krishna here points out that karma yoga is giving oriented. A karma yogi is one who has transformed himself from a consumer to a contributor for the maintenance of the cosmic order, the cosmic harmony. He has understood the importance for giving and not for taking, grabbing. In contrast, a karmi, not a karma yogi, a karmi, just a person who is performing certain actions without the karma yoga attitude, he is taking oriented. And this is the difference between a karmi and a karma yogi. A karmi measures his success in terms of his capacity to grab, to hoard, amass, and possess. For a karmi, success means dying a very wealthy man, leaving behind riches for 7 generations or even more. Whereas a karma yogi measures his success in terms of his capacity to give, in terms of his contribution. The more he can give, he considers to be a more successful person. Therefore, a karma yogi will consider success as that in which he may die even a pauper, but has the satisfaction of having given everything that he has. I am not going to take away anything with me once I die. So when I am alive, let me give everything to people who deserve, to the universe which deserves it as my contribution for the harmony, maintaining the harmony of the cosmos. And that is why, in our Puranas and other scriptural literature, a person who has sacrificed everything in his life is glorified, whether it is Shivi Chakrabarti or whether it is Buddha. Anyone who is glorified is not materially rich person, but a person who has given up his material possessions. In fact, I'm reminded of a story. I think it's again related to Swami Vivekananda only. When he was in the US, he was asked, what is the difference between your culture and our culture? So Vivekananda said, in your culture, in your society, a person who is very rich, as very wealthy person, materially very successful person is the most respected person in your society. Whereas in our culture, in our society, a person who has got rid of all wealth, who does not own anything, he is considered as the most successful person. That's the difference between the two cultures. Therefore, anyone who is glorified in our culture is not a materially rich person, but a person who has given up his material possessions. That is why Mahatmas, Swamijis are all there They are revered, they are respected in the society. Even kings, prime ministers, they visit them and seek their advice. They have no personal agenda. They have no, as they call, axe to grind. And therefore, Krishna strongly criticizes a person who has taken more and given less. He says all such people are sinners because they have consumed more and shared less. And now Krishna contrasts such a person with the one who is contented with the self. Okay. Now Krishna is moving from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. We will read the 17th sloka. Yastvat maratirev syat atmatriptascha manavah atmanyeva cha santushtah tasya karyam na vidyate. Anvaya is tu yaha manavah atmaratihi eva atmatruptah cha atmani eva santushtah cha syat tasya karyam na vidyate. Tu, whereas, however, yahamanavaha, the person who atmaratihi eva, delights in the self alone, atmatruptaha cha, and is satisfied with the self, atmani eva, in the self alone, santushtaha cha, and is contented, syat, would be, tasya, for him, karyam, work to be done, na vidyate, does not exist. So he says, contrasting with the person who lives a life of papa, he says, whereas for the person who would delight in the self, who is satisfied with the self, contented with the self alone, there is nothing to be done. That means what? There is nothing to be accomplished by him. Why? He understands that I am the whole. I am Purnam. So I don't need to do anything to accomplish anything more. I have to do that only if I find myself Apurna. Once you understand you are Purna, you are whole, you are complete, you are limitless, nothing more to be done. So thus, in this the following verse, in this sloka and following sloka, Krishna talks about the benefits of Karma Yoga, which is coming in the form of Jnana Yoga. And we have often discussed, Gita or in the Vedas and even other scriptural literature, they do not consider Karma Yoga as an end in itself. We must clearly remember that. Karma Yoga is only an intermediate sadhana which will lead to Jnana Yoga. This must be very clearly remembered. Karma Yoga cannot give liberation. Karma Yoga cannot give self-knowledge. We have already discussed this in one of the earlier classes in detail, but we must remember these important aspects of Advaita Vedanta. Many people think Karma Yoga is the end in itself. It is not. But that does not mean Karma Yoga is not important. Karma Yoga is extremely important, especially in the beginning stages of the spiritual journey. Because Karma Yoga alone can give Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind, and a sufficiently purified mind only can go through the next higher stage of sadhana. Many misguided people, as we have discussed earlier, they mistakenly think that Karma Yoga can independently take one to moksha. Krishna makes it clear that it is not so. Only Jnana Yoga sadhanas will pave the way for moksha. Therefore, after performing Karma Yoga sadhanas, gaining Chitta Shuddhi, one has to withdraw from Karma Yoga, or at least reduce Karma Yoga and progress to inquiry into the true nature of himself. That is the process. One should not become addicted to Karma Yoga. See, there are two paths, Krishna talks about it right in the Ubodhgata Bhashyam of Bhagavad Gita, which of course we have not seen we are not going studying the Bhashyam, right? It would have taken very long time to study the Bhashyam. But in the Ubodhgata Bhashyam, he said there are two paths, Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. Pravritti Marga means what? You go on accumulating things. Up to Grihastha you follow Pravritti Marga. Once your Grihastha duties are over, of course, in the Grihastha you practice Karma Yoga sadhanas also. Once the duties are over, you switch over to Nivritti Marga. Nivritti Marga means what? Switch over to giving, not grabbing, not accumulating. Giving, getting rid of. So even when Karma Yoga has already delivered what it is supposed to deliver, which is Chitta Shuddhi, sufficient Chitta Shuddhi, which will take you to Jnana Yoga and Jnana Yoga sadhanas like Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, etc. One must reduce Karma Yoga and focus more on Jnana Yoga sadhanas. Which means what? Self-inquiry, inquiry into who am I? Am I this body, mind, sense complex? Am I my heart, intellect, and all the blood vessels which are there? Am I punya papam, the causal body? These questions all should come, and one should delve into this question and then find the answers. And the self-inquiry will lead to the knowledge of the self. And the ignorance of the self, which has plagued our lives throughout crores of births, including this birth, will disappear with the rise of knowledge. Unless we solve the problem of self-ignorance, any amount of spiritual sadhana is incomplete. Therefore, what we should do? Follow Karma Yoga, purify the mind, grow out of Karma Yoga, and go to the next stage of spiritual sadhana. Like a child entering the womb of the mother. It remains in the womb for 9 or 10 months. This period in the womb is extremely important for the growth of the child. But after that period, the very same womb becomes an obstacle for further growth of the child. Therefore, you see, beauty of Bhagavan, beauty of the nature, it has itself kept an arrangement by which the child will come out of the womb, because the next stage of growth is not within the womb but outside. See the beauty. From every aspect that we observe, that we experience, there is a learning about how nature works, how the cosmic forces work. One cannot take a position and be stagnant. One needs to keep on moving. And that is what is happening, with most of the people today. They enter Grihastha and then till the last stage of their life, they are still in Grihastha. They don't move out of Grihastha I don't mean to say that one should go leave the house and go to some forest and all that. Still, you can physically be present in the house, mentally, emotionally, give up all emotional attachment, bondages. Just give up. People will not run away from you. They may have certain disappointments, no doubt. You are not the same person who you were earlier. You have become different. Fine, that's okay. But what will happen is your emotional attachment, which was there earlier, convert that into love, care. Your growth is over. You outgrow what you have experienced in your life. And now you support the growth of your children, your relatives, your people who require it. We fail to do that. And that is why we get entangled in all sorts of problems within the family. We are old, 80, 90 years, still we want to poke our nose into everything that is happening, whether in the family or outside. For a 80-year-old person, how does it matter whether one political party wins or another political party wins? So all these things, they're all material for us to introspect and move away, emotionally move away from all these trappings which are there. Just like after 9 or 10 months, nature forces you to come out of the womb. Similarly, we must force ourselves to come out of this, grihastha and then lead a life which is good for us, which will be peaceful for us and also peaceful for others. So in the same way, even Karma Yoga is like the womb of the mother. We have to lead an active life, purify the mind, and thereafter, as they say, this Brahmacharya ashrama and Grihastha ashrama is like entering the womb. After that, Vanaprastha ashrama and Sannyasa ashrama is being born, growing out of the activity. And as I was saying, first stage is called pravritti, second stage is called nivritti. First stage is called involvement, second stage is called seclusion or withdrawal. And this second stage starts with an intense introspection on basic questions like, who am I? What am I really seeking in life? Am I blindly doing things because my parents did it or my grandparents did before them, or because my relatives and people known to me are doing? Am I leading a mechanical life, getting up in the morning, eating, sleeping, watching TV, going to a club? I went to nursery, LKG, UKG, school, university, job, etc. because everybody did all these things. Then everybody got married, I also got married. Everybody had children, I also had children. Then I retired. I followed the same pattern which my parents did, and before them, their parents did. And like me, they also strive to be happy, but like me, they could not get rid of grief and sorrow, which reared its head from time to time. Is that all what is life about? Is there an alternative lifestyle which I should have followed or even now follow, which will give me plenty of peace of mind, contentment, continued happiness? Is there a way I can change my lifestyle and adopt another one, which will ensure that I don't have experience of unhappiness and grief? These are questions we must ask. If not earlier, at least once we have retired, we have fulfilled all our responsibilities towards our family, children. Adi Shankara sums up these questions very beautifully in Bhajagovindam. Kastvam koham kuta ayata hai, kame janani kome tata hai, iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram, vishwam tyaktva swapna vicharam. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam bhaja mudhamate. Kastvam koham. Who are you? Who am I? Kuta ayata hai? From where did I come? Kame janani kome tata hai? Who is my mother? Who is my father? Iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishwam tyaktva swapna vicharam. Paribhavaya. Enquire thus. Iti paribhavaya. Enquire thus. Sarvam asaram vishwam tyaktva, leaving aside the entire world of experience, lacking in essence, born of imagination, swapna vicharam. The whole world you are imagining. Leave all that, understand the reality of the world. Understand the degree of reality of the world. And inquire into yourself. And this is the starting point of self-inquiry. Then go deeper. What is life? What is my real nature? Why I have come here? What is my real destination? Why this human struggle? All this is called Jnana Yoga, which begins with such an inquiry. And then you discover that the answers lie in Jnana Yoga sadhanas, in the form of Vedanta, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam, study of the philosophical scriptures, study of the Prasthana Trayam, revealing the true nature of the self, the Jiva, the true nature of the universe, the Jagat, and the true nature of God, Ishvara, and the true nature of the relationship between these three is revealed. Assimilating that teaching and discovering the real I, which is ever Purna, full, which is limitless, which is ever complete. That discovery of this fullness, this complete self, this limitless self is called Jnana Yoga. And only when I have successfully followed Jnana Yoga, I have internalized the teaching, I abide in the teaching, the struggle in life is over. In fact, Swami Paramarthanandaji gives a very beautiful example of frying a puri. You know, all of you should know what a puri is, right? Puri masal we eat. The puri, if you actually observe, when you put in oil, it runs about, right? In a big, that container, if it is put, it will run about all over the place, bubble, a lot of, jump around and all that. It will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And once it has become fully blown, it is full, it becomes still. There is no more knocking about. Atmanyeva Atmana tushtaha, stationary, steady. It has attained Purnatvam. In fact, he says, Purnatvam is shortened, that is why it is called Puri. Which may be true, we don't know. So even while frying a Puri, it gives you Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga part is all, jumping around and getting boiled in the oil and doing everything. Once you have understand that you have become full, you are full, your nature is fullness, then what? Nothing else to be done. Therefore, in future, whenever you eat puri, remember that life's goal is Purnatvam. Until then, I will be knocking about here and there, not knowing what to do. Therefore, without Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga is incomplete. Without Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is impossible. Therefore, follow Karma Yoga, get knocked about in the world, and once you have examined the affairs of the world from all angles, Pariksha Lokan, Karmachitan, Brahmana, Nirvedamayat, Nasti Akritakritena. Pariksha Lokan. Once you have examined the affairs of the world with an open mind, with an unbiased mind, with an emotionally detached mind, you will understand the reality, what this life is all about. Because all said and done, Karma Yoga has got its limitations. Therefore, follow Jnana Yoga, be liberated and be free. And the essence of that Jnana Yoga is given in these two slokas briefly. Krishna puts Jnana Yoga in a nutshell. Of course, he will discuss all these things throughout the next chapters and all that, various aspects he is going to discuss. Here is just again two slokas he gives. So in this sloka, Krishna says, Manavaha. Here, a Jnana Yogi is called a Manavaha. Intelligent person, because he has diagnosed the problem of his life. He has discovered that the problem is self-ignorance. And also he has discovered that the problem is centered on him alone and not anywhere outside. That is the first indication of wisdom. We must understand all the problems we face in our life is I am responsible for it. Nobody else outside me is responsible for my problems. Swami Dayananda Saraswati puts it beautifully. He says, the problem is you, the solution is also you alone. Until now, I thought that the problem is with the family, with the society, with the government, etc. And I went on trying to change all these things, changing people, changing house, changing job, changing government. And sometimes, people now started changing wives and husbands also. Everything I kept on changing, but in spite of all these changes, that there has been absolutely no improvement. Therefore, logically, the problem cannot lie outside, it has to be with myself only. The moment this realization dawns, the person has begun his journey towards moksha, liberation or freedom. And that is why Krishna uses the word manavaha. This intelligent person comes to self-inquiry with the help of scriptures, with the help of Guru. Guru Shastra Upadesha Sahayena. And when he does the self-inquiry, then he makes the biggest discovery, the rarest discovery, a very pleasant, surprising discovery. And what is the discovery? The discovery is, whatever I have been seeking in life, they are already within me. The security I seek, I am the embodiment of security. Fullness I seek, I am the embodiment of fullness. Peace I seek, I am the embodiment of peace. In fact, all the basic needs of a human being are already within me. And I have been like a fool running from pillar to post seeking security, fullness and peace. When he makes this discovery, he becomes Atmaratihi, the one who delights in the self alone. So previously he was seeking happiness in the external conditions. After self-knowledge, he is happy, not because external factors, he is happy because happiness is his very nature. And Krishna is not telling this for the first time. We can recall the sloka from the second chapter. Sri Bhagavan prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha stitha prajnastadochyate. We have seen that, right? While defining who is a stitha prajna. Stitha prajnasya ka bhasha, asked Arjuna. So Krishna gave a lot of slokas defining who is a Sita Pragya. There he says, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. Atmaniyeva Atmana Tushtaha. The one who is self-sufficient, the one who does not depend upon external factors to be full and complete. Therefore, Atma Ratihi means the one who revels in himself. And not only that, he also becomes Atma Truptaha cha, satisfied with himself. The one who is totally contented with himself. He does not think of the next higher possibility because he has discovered himself to be infinite. There cannot be something next to infinite, isn't it? No higher stage to infinite. We cannot apply infinite, infiniter, infinitest. We can't do that, right? Comparative, superlative degrees to infinite, we can't apply because there is no comparison. Till now, the problem was, however much I have, I am never happy because there is always someone who has got more and has gone to the next higher stage. It is like sports records. If you ask a person whether he is happy with the record that he has created, he will say no, because so and so has got a better record than mine and I have to break that. And there are people who have broken all the other records, they are on the top. And if you ask them whether you are happy, they will say no, because they want to break their own records. Therefore, there is never total satisfaction. Maybe contentment, satisfaction, happiness is there for a while, and then the feeling of incompleteness takes over. But once a person has discovered his true nature and become Atmaratihi and Atmatruptaha, there is total satisfaction because there is no competition. There may be other jnanis like him, but no one is better than him. They are also on the same level. You also reach the same level. That person's quest for betterment is yearning for becoming someone else. Someone better ends here. And therefore he becomes Atmani eva santushtaha. He is satisfied, contented with the self alone. His self-sufficiency is total. He does not depend upon any external factors. He realizes that I am not one of the sources of happiness for me. I am the only source of happiness for me. So, Atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Thereafter, there is no struggle in his life. Whatever he does is not done for fulfillment. Therefore, whatever he does is out of fulfillment, out of a feeling of being complete. In fact, there is only a subtle difference. One acts for fulfillment, another acts out of fulfillment. You can guess the difference. When I am acting for fulfillment, it means I am at present not full, and therefore the action is not an enjoyable action. There is a struggle. There is a dissatisfaction, there is anxiety, whether I am acting, whether I will accomplish or not. There is always stress and tension. Therefore, action for fulfillment is samsara, struggle. Whereas action out of fulfillment, I think, I don't know who said that is Swami Paramarthananda or Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He compares action out of fulfillment is like bathroom singing. I think Swami Paramarthananda only says, yeah. You just enjoy singing. Not for anybody else. You don't want to, by bathroom singing, don't want to become a big singer and all. In fact, actually, nobody wants to listen also to that. Bathroom singing is not for money, not for anything, not for fame. It is just that you are happy and therefore you sing. Thus, an action out of fulfillment is called Leela, a sport. And a Jnani's every activity is a Leela. And that's why we use the words like Krishna Leela, Rama Leela, etc. Leela means an action done with fulfillment or out of fulfillment. Therefore, Krishna says, Tasya karyam na vidyate. There is nothing to be accomplished by him through action, through karma yoga. That is how a jnani is. And Krishna elaborates this idea in the next sloka. I will just read the sloka, Anvaya and all, we will see in the next class. Okay. Naiva tasya krite nartaha, na krite neha kaschana, nachasya sarva bhuteshu, kaschidartavyapashrayah. We'll say the prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you.
Hari Om Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
You.
Now, one question.
Yeah.
Now, I thought it was a little harsh to say that if a person dies, is useless. There are people who donate their organs.
Well, yes, that is true. They donate organs, but one can say that, yeah, I mean, not all the organs, some organs they can donate.
True. No, there are brain dead people. You know, subsequently
Yeah,
we
brain
read
dead
because
people.
of that,
Yeah.
there are so many people who are saved,
Yeah.
liver, kidneys, you know, even heart and so on and so forth.
True, true. That's quite true. Yeah. Of course, I didn't think about that, but the animal example only came in. But you
No,
are
just
right.
say,
There are people who actually they leave a will that on my death, my eyes should be donated. And
yes, yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Some
Some
people donate.
Again,
some
that's a part of the whole, keeping the system going.
going.
The system has got people who can't see. So these people are actually contributing for the system to be, the whole order to be.
The cycle
continues. Yeah, the cost will
continue.
go by contributing. So again, that is something to be, appreciate that. So.
And some people donate their full body to a hospital.
Yeah, they do that. They do that. That's very, very much. You are right. But then those people are not being talked about by Krishna.
I know.
Krishna talks about people who don't give anything, rather they only amass one-way
Only
street.
grab everything.
Grab everything. They don't give anything at all. In fact, when they die also, they may not die like this. They may die like this.
Like Alexander said, no. Alexander, when
Alexander,
he said, my body is
exactly.
taken off, keep my hands open and
Outside
everything
the-
open.
yeah,
People should
and
know.
open.
Yes. So that
People
people
should
should know I'm not taking away anything.
Correct. So
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskar.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other question?
Pranam Guruji, Lata here.
Yes, Lataji.
Guruji, I'm not, this is not a question, it's just I'm just wondering, every shloka is a big bundle of knowledge, every shloka. And Shankar Bhashyam and the way you are explaining is so wonderful, and everything is thankful of knowledge. But then for beginners like me, I'm saying, I'm not sure about others. Is it possible? Maybe I'm indirectly requesting, I think, to you after is the one take home, one liner or one take home message at the end of every shloka, which you can make a list of it, and then so that'll you can quickly glance through it every day. I mean, this is it's so lovely to attend the class, and then I always make it a point to listen to it once again, at least before attending the next class, so that it makes sinks in more. But like every shloka is a wonderful message for everyday life. So
I mean, even though I don't make it specifically, but every shloka, what is the gist of that shloka is already explained, right? So that way you must catch the message of that particular shloka. Because every shloka, even though I am explaining the words and things like that and all, what is important? For example, the shloka which we saw today in such a detail, what is important? Two messages are there. Number one, you must contribute for the continuance of this entire cosmic harmony. One, right? How to do that? Through Karma Yoga. What is the aspect of Karma Yoga? Giving instead of taking. One aspect, correct? So by giving more, and giving need not necessarily only mean giving money to somebody or making donation. When you water a plant also, you are giving. When you feed an animal also, you are giving. So you must expand your mind to see what all things. When you are teaching somebody, you are giving. When I am teaching the Vedic knowledge to you, I am contributing to the maintenance of this cosmic harmony, because Vedic knowledge, as we saw, is all pervasive everywhere. So we must expand our mind and think that what exactly is being talked about, then automatically the message will come. I must focus on that. Then we have seen slokas, like we saw Pariksha Lokan Karmachita. Everything that we do, we say that, okay, this is important for me, this is important for me. And which way normally we do it even in our day-to-day lives, right? What is important? If I have understood what the Vedic message is, what is the message of the Upanishads, I must be able to see the limitations in all the worldly experiences, in all the worldly objects to make me happy. Another you can say takeaway from this. So if I start giving you takeaways after every shloka, it will be, like, it's one way it will be difficult because there are so many takeaways, and many of them will even get repeated. So therefore, what the approach is, you don't worry about too many things. Let this knowledge keep flowing into your mind. I can tell you there is a process of purification already going on. You are not realizing it. There is a process. The more you listen to these things, it is purifying you. It is just like you're chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, or you are chanting Lalita Sahasranama, or any this thing. It is purifying your mind, maybe bit by bit by bit. So don't worry about all this. Go on understanding, have doubts, get those doubts cleared. But don't look for capsule Vedanta. So Vedanta cannot come in capsule because everything is interlinked in this. When we start right from our worldly experiences and reach up to Atma Triptihi and Atma Ratihi stage, there is a very big journey we are traveling. We are going through. So what is important is, even as I was saying, Karma Yoga on its own has got lot of benefit. But then what happens? We must not get hooked on to Karma Yoga also. We must outgrow Karma Yoga at some stage. Of course, that is not possible for us to decide. But what happens is, automatically it happens. In our scriptural structure, the sannyasa ashrama has been designed for getting rid of karma yoga. Because you do grihastha then go to vanaprastha. In vanaprastha, you start practicing emotional detachment with all things which you have lived with till now. You have been emotionally attached till now. So once your children are settled, your family is settled, everything is done, your responsibility over, you have retired, everything you have done, then take the vanaprastha attitude, do meditation, upasana, and attending these classes. This should be the primary thing. What we normally do, this is only a part-time thing we are doing. That is where the problem comes. We must make this as primary, everything else secondary. That change when you bring, then you are really on the path of spirituality.
And also doing one right thing will lead to doing another right thing also.
Correct. That's how the chain works. And you will yourself realize at some stage, your mind just getting clear of all these emotional entanglements without any dvesha. You are not hating anybody and so you want to get rid of people. No. You just want to reduce your emotional entanglement so that you are free. And when you do that, the earlier attachment will get converted into love. And love is what? Then you will want, if somebody comes to you that I need help, happily you will help. So this is all, something which one can only experience themselves. Very difficult to tell you about and then convince you this is how it happens and all that. This is a journey, but I can only give you one guarantee based upon my personal experience, it works. The whole thing works. I can give you that from my own personal experience. So it may slowly it works. It is not that, I have done 3.5 years course. So when I come out of the ashram, I have come very completely pure and all that. No, it will not work like that. Every seed has got its own gestation time for growing into a plant, into a tree. A papaya seed may grow very fast, whereas a mango seed may take years. Similarly, every individual, depending upon our past karmas, depending upon past samskaras, everything all contribute. And once you are seriously pursuing it, it will happen. And even if it doesn't happen in this life, don't have any anxiety. It will be continued in the next life. Don't try to look at your life from date of birth to date of death. Look at your life from crores of birth I have been coming. This is in this life only I have got the opportunity to get exposed to this knowledge. That itself is a very great blessing. How many people you think, even after they join these classes, they leave midway or even initially they don't relate to it at all. So if you are relating to it, that itself shows a sufficient degree of chitta shuddhi is there. That is why you are relating it to it. So continue this process. Then you will yourself realize all these things.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other question?
Guruji,
Yeah.
this is Prema.
Namaste.
Namaste. Guruji, as we progress, does nature automatically push us towards this renunciation, or the Shravanam, the Mananam, and the Nididhyasanam with the purification helps us to go to that state where we can detach?
See, we have to realize one thing, that all these things will not happen automatically for everybody. Okay. Because one of the things that we have always discussed about is that this happens or starts happening when you as a jiva have entered the last phase of your existence. Right? Only when that happens, of course, people say, oh, in the horoscope, if a Ketu is in this way, this will happen and all. I personally don't subscribe to those ideas and all that. But they say Ketu, if it is in the 12th house, it will moksha and all that. I don't know whether that is true or not. But what we have to say is, we have to understand is, once I have come to Vedanta, to the Upanishads, to the end of the Vedas, that means I am not very far away from moksha. So, one part of it is that I get an opportunity, I get a little bit of insight into this in this life. Then my free will should take over. And the free will we should use in order to understand that this is a rare opportunity I have got, I must not miss it. So it is not, I can't say that this is automatically happens or it happens, deliberately. It's a mixture of both. Once an opportunity comes your way, that may come because of so many reasons, basically because of Ishwara's grace. Your past karmas, past punya papas and all that, that opportunity has come to your life. Then you must use your free will that I now want to go further into it and take my life, further on this path. Their free will act. And it is not that at one point in time, continuously this interaction between opportunity and free will continue in this entire path. Because in this path, as Kathopanishad says, it's a Churasya Dhara. The spiritual path is like walking on the edge of a sword, sharp edge of a sword. There will be lot of bleeding happening. Lot of obstacles will come. And there is where your free will operate. Obstacles will come in so many ways. I mean, for example, you just take, obstacles, let's say, what example I can give? Let us see. I mean, my own example, I mean, the best example. Whenever I travel, my main object is that I must not miss taking the class. Right? Now, the obstacles can come by means of a travel, by means of, internet not being available in the place where I am going to and all that. But I use my free will to make sure that unless it is a totally impossible situation, I have tried to find ways and means to conduct the class. That is where my free will comes into the picture. Right? So, maybe a crude example. I mean, I'm not getting a better example in my mind. But the Upanishads say that even Devatas, they are jealous of such people who are on the spiritual path to moksha, because they themselves have not attained it. So they will prevent people from progressing in this. So like that, lot of obstacles will come and everything will be there. So it is not something that happens automatically. You have to, it's a combination of what happens because of your karmas and your present activities, and then you, using your free will, you push it forward. There is the friction, as you go forward, the friction becomes less and less and less. That is what I can tell you. But both are involved. But you must focus on what
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ariyo. Thank you.
Hariyo.
Anything else? Any other question? So no more. Okay, we will close the class and continue next week. Hari Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.